Hold on. Hello there. I'm just playing. Oh my god, I feel weird talking like this, but hopefully you guys can hear me. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Sometimes I tend to whisper because there's other people in the house and I don't want them to hear me, but I gotta get over that. Especially if I'm trying to put myself out there on social media and stuff. I can't just be out here hiding. So don't mind the hair. Don't mind the face. Don't mind the scarf. Don't mind the background. Okay? Okay. Don't mind any of it. I just wanted to kind of force myself to start the video. I'm about to film a video, but this is the beforehand, before we get into actually filming the actual video that I wanted to do. But I just wanted to try it and see if I can do like a get ready with me and just kind of like start. I need to start talking, basically. I need to start getting comfortable with talking in front of the camera. And so before I film, I was hoping that this could be the practice that I could get in before I actually get started. So I don't know, we'll see. But how am I feeling today? So today I feel great, honestly. I got up, I had my devotion. So if you can see, I got my notebooks, my notepad, my calendar, my Bible here. And I spoke with God today. I prayed, I studied. I was in the book of Daniel. And I just followed a sermon. And I did my Bible study with that. And they were in Daniel chapter 6. And they were talking about how I forget what the town was. Anyways, that's besides the point. But we were in Daniel, and there was a great message there that I enjoyed. What else? There's a great message, and like I said, I'm focusing on these eyebrows, for one, and two, like I said, I'm just trying to get in the habit of speaking on the camera, but I haven't really said much of anything, so get to the point. I gotta get to the point. But yeah, I'm about to start my entire YouTube career from scratch. And I don't know where it's gonna go. I have no idea where it's gonna go. I have no idea what to expect, which is kind of exciting, but at the same time, I don't want anything to like go down the drain. I want every effort that I make to go towards success, and sometimes I get in the way of my own hopes, dreams, and desires because I feel like I don't want to take chances on the ideas that I have because I don't know if these are winning ideas that I have. But at the same time, how can you know that it's a winning idea unless you execute it? You have to execute. We have to execute. And that's my problem. That's been a problem of mine for a while. Failure to execute. Which failure only happens when you stop. So with me, my problem is that I tend to start things and stop things and start things and stop things, and I'm multifaceted, and I like to do this and I like to do that, and then I get bored with that, and then I like to try that. Oh yeah, I remember I wanted to do that. Let me try this, and then I'm just hopping in and out of rooms, and I can't stay committed or grounded in one place, and that's been my downfall for so long because I feel like I don't have an interest that piques. I mean, I have interests, but I have changing interests. It's like I don't have that one thing that just speaks to me. I don't think I have found that thing that speaks to me. If I had to choose, if I had to like sit here and think what that would be, It would probably be music and movies. I remember when I was in college, or when I left college, the second time, which is a whole story in and of itself. But I remember one time when I left college, it was the end of first semester, around holiday break, and I remember thinking to myself, like, what is my purpose? And it became this overwhelming thought, this overwhelming emotion that I just did not have the answer to. So I remember calling my mom back home, explaining to her how I felt and how I just, like, I don't feel fulfilled right now. Like school, like I'm doing the school thing, but it just doesn't feel right. And so she's like, just pray on it. And I did. I prayed on it. And within the next week or so, well, not even. So holiday went, Christmas came and went, New Year's came and went. I remember I went for my friend's birthday. We had a cabin trip. We went, celebrated her birthday. We did that the weekend before spring semester started. Spring semester starts, right? I'm getting myself in the mindset of, all right, we got to jump into this. We got to get back into the program, right? And I do. I get back into the program. Soon enough, I get I don't know if it was a letter, or I get an eviction notice, basically. I get an eviction notice out of nowhere, which I wasn't surprised by it, because at the time my parents were going through a divorce and my dad's house was being foreclosed on. And back at home, since they were split and it was just my mom, my little brother, they were going from hotel to they were staying in hotels or staying with friends from church. And then my dad was also hopping from couch to couch of friends that he had. And basically, I didn't have a home to go back to. So in the midst of that, there was no money for my tuition. There was no money for my boarding and housing and all of that stuff. I didn't have money to eat on campus. I had a whole meal plan that I walked in one day, swiped my card, and I had to turn back around and leave out because tuition was not paid. So I say all this to say there was a lot of things going on at that time, and I just did not feel like school was for me. Mind you, before spring semester, this was something that was already happening, like going back and forth to the financial aid office and having to plead your case and like wait, and they'll give you a deadline and all that stuff, and we got to come up with the money. No money came up. No money was brought up, right? So then I remember being called up to the dean's office. My dean wanted to speak with me, and I was basically informed. Oh, also, I had just gotten hired at our campus Chick-fil-A. I had my interview, and I had just gotten the offer, and I was hired to start like the following week. Then I get a notification, or I get a letter or some email from the dean telling me to come up to his office. And I did. And basically, the conversation was very short. He told me that I had to withdraw from the school. And that because my housing wasn't paid, or because my tuition wasn't paid, that I had 7 days to get out of the school. By this time, it was like the first week of February. My birthday is February 1st. So right after celebrating my birthday, I think I had just turned 21, which it was It was not a great birthday, by the way. I had to call and tell I think they had already informed her that, yeah, you need to come and pick up your child, basically. So I cried, and I'm crying to him, and I'm trying to, like, not play the sympathy card because I was genuinely hurt. But I remember just feeling like, what else is there? Like, you telling me I have to go home to what? Excuse me? Go home to what? Now, I might have my story a little bit mixed up. That was like, what, 2015? It's been like 10 years. I'm 29, so, well, if I said I was just had my 21st birthday, it's been like 8 years or so, right? But I could have my timelines mixed up, whatever. So I remember I had to go home and pack. And my mom was like, she wasn't happy. She had to miss work. She had to figure out what she was going to do with my little brother, because the car that she had was very small and it was not going to be able to hold all of my belongings from my dorm, plus me, plus her, plus him. So he had to go and stay probably with my sister. And yeah, I just remember that being a very hard drive coming back home. But when I got back, my mission was just to get as close with God as I could, because that's basically all I had, right? As soon as that moment when my mom told me to pray, she said, pray. If you don't know your purpose, ask God what it is, right? So when I got back home, that was my mission. I need to pray. And I would stay locked up by myself with my Bible and a notebook, my phone, and I would play worship music. Whenever I would wake up, I would play worship music. I would get I would get ready for the day, but I would get ready to meet God. Basically, I would have my secret time with God, and I would be in my Bible for like 4 or 5 hours at a time, reading, praying, crying. Like, I was really going through it at this time, because I'm not only holding the weight of like what I was going through, but like my family is going through like the worst of times as well. So what do? You go to war in the spirit. You pray and you do all these things. And I wasn't drinking and I wasn't smoking like I was at school. And I just had a very clear head, and I'm like, I'm going to know what this purpose is. God is going to tell me. God is going to tell me. And I remember him telling me, I had this revelation. Literally, I was reading Revelation, and I had this revelation. And I'm reading Revelation, you know, the story of the end times and stuff like that. And I remember, like, the imagery that I had in my head. I was like, wow. Like, imagine this, like, on the big screen. Imagine this, like, being a movie. Like, I could see exactly what was being said in my head. And I was like, oh my God, like, if only I knew how to, like, make a film. And then I remember God was saying, like, why not make a film? Now, growing up, I've always been fascinated by movies. Love movies, especially books that turn into movies. That's like my favorite type of movie to watch, and that's my favorite book to watch, because I love to read. I just love art. I love art, but I specifically love movies. So when a book that I like turns into a movie, it's like, oh, I get the best of both worlds, you know? So that was the first time I had ever entertained the thought of maybe I could become a film director. And then during that time, while studying, while being in my word, while seeking first the kingdom of God, I had basically was studying Issa Rae. Issa Rae at the time, she did not have Insecure at all. She had Awkward Black Girl. I would stay on her YouTube channel. I'm talking about 2015, 2016. And I would just be like so in awe of this girl on YouTube, who literally started on YouTube. And here I am trying to do this thing with YouTube. Never made a movie before. Don't have a college degree in film. Wasn't studying film. I was studying psychology with a minor in criminal justice. But that's only because I wanted to know. It doesn't matter. So here I am, right? I don't like this, but it's gonna have to work. So here I am, basically, getting confirmation from God that I can totally be a film director. I'm studying Issa Rae. I'm studying Ava DuVernay and Melina Matsoukas and just a whole bunch more of women. What's the lady's name that did Gina Blythewood, who did Love and Basketball? Who else? Lena Waithe. I absolutely love and adore those women and the work that they've done behind the scenes and how they make stories come to life. And I always wanted to do that because I always wanted to get my ideas out of my head when I would read a book and I can just see the imagery and I'm like, somebody else has to see this. There's no way all of this greatness can just be contained in my mind. There has to be a way where I can share this with others. So why not be a film director? Some evidence to kind of support film in high school before I ever even got that revelation after being kicked out of college. In 10th grade, my dad, we had gotten him a digital camera for Father's Day. And I don't even remember if he really cared, but I mean, I guess he's into photography, but he's more into like disposable camera, like Kodak, like back in the day type of pictures, not really digital. But I remember he never opened the box with the camera. Like he never opened the box and he kept it on his nightstand. And I remember I'll come in like in my parents' room, for whatever. I walk out and I just see this thing sitting on the, like still in the box, not even open. I'm like, what the heck? And I remember this one morning before I had to leave to catch my bus for school. This is 10th grade. He was still asleep. And I went in the room and I just took it. I just took his camera and I was like, I'm taking this to school. Now at the time, my 10th grade, I was a social butterfly coming from years of like being bullied and shy and like just being the big dark skinned girl. Like nobody really cared for me. 10th grade, I was that girl. You could not tell me anything about myself. So I just remember like bringing that camera to school because some things you can't like if something funny happens like at school or at work, you can't just tell the next person like, oh, this, like you have to get it on camera, which is why like social media is so big. Like nobody's gonna believe me unless I record it. Like it was like that type of energy. Like I had to bring this camera. Mind you, at the time I had like a cell phone. I had a little Metro PCS phone, like a BlackBerry dupe, but from Metro PCS. And I had a iPod Touch. And I would record on my iPod Touch. But I wanted the camera. I wanted good footage. I'm talking about HD 4K. You feel me? Now I'm gonna make this story short, but I would bring that to school and I would record in class. I would record when we were going in between classes and lunchtime. Like I would record, like people on the bus, I would record. Like there would just be so many funny moments and I would post it on Facebook because, you get out of school, you get home, you get on Facebook because everybody's at home now. So you still want to talk to your friends, even though you just saw them like an hour ago. When you get home, you do your homework, but you get on Facebook. You get on Facebook, you get on Twitter, and you're talking to your friends. And me, I would upload. And people liked the videos. They thought it was funny. Like, I loved that I was able to captivate that and share that with other people. But even though that wasn't like production or anything like that, I always felt like I wanted to be behind the camera. So now that I'm like in front of the camera, it just feels kind of odd. I just never saw myself as being like viewed as somebody who could be in front of the camera. Like, I don't have star quality. I'm about to untwist this, but I'm just using this to take everything down. But yeah, I never saw myself as being like in front of the camera. Like, I think everybody dreams of like what it would be like to be like on TV, or to be like some type of movie star or a famous singer or whatever. Like, I think there's a delusion to that. Like, everybody thinks that, everybody daydreams about that, I feel like. But, or you don't, I don't know. But yeah, it just feels weird in this season in time, because I feel like God has always dropped hints to get on YouTube, and I just never did it. And then now that I'm actually listening to what he's saying and actually entertaining the fact that, okay, I need to start up this YouTube again, I'm having second thoughts and I'm having second doubts, because yes, this is what I wanted. It's just not the way that I wanted it. I wanted to be behind the camera, not talking to you guys. But I will say, even the experience with getting kicked out of school, I have a plethora of wisdom from life, and not from having a classical education from a university. I don't have a degree. Technically, I am not what is considered an educated person in America. But I have life's wisdom. I've gone through experiences from childhood, teenage, young adult. I'm about to be 30 in 4 days. I've learned so much in my life. I have a child. I'm a mom. Like, there's wisdom inside of me, even though I'm young. I'm still very young. I'm not old. Nothing about me says old. But I know that God has been telling me this. People can learn from my wisdom. And I remember over the past few years of just not really like being myself, or not knowing who I am, and just having like that quarter life crisis where, like, once you hit like 25, 26, 27, boy, 27 is rough, okay? But once you hit like those ages, like the late 20s, you just get into like this very doubtful period of yourself. You don't know who you are. You're not where you want to be. You're not married. You're not, and it just makes you feel some type of way. And I just remember being like, oh my God, like, all of these influencers, all of these people who are making millions of dollars, and they have like all of this recognition and fandom around the world, and they don't do anything. They don't add anything like substantial. They don't do anything. They don't, like, they could be talking like mukbangs and stuff like that. People do like unsubstantial stuff and get the most recognition for it. Whereas you have people who actually have went through life, who actually have been through stuff, rock bottom, who actually has advice, wisdom, knowledge, information for other people in the world, but nobody wants to listen to them because they're boring or because they are not seen as valued. I absolutely hate that. I hate that. And I will always count myself out before actually putting myself out there, because I convinced myself that I wasn't worthy of that kind of attention. I told myself I wasn't worthy of that attention. I told myself I wasn't worthy of people hearing me. Like, what could they possibly want to listen to about me? But I have to get out of that because, for one, that's not a fun place to be. For you to be your own worst enemy is that's not a good place to be in. You don't want to be your own worst enemy. The person that you have to live with and look at every single day, you want to be an enemy to yourself. That is actually crazy. And it will put you in mental distress because you can't escape yourself. You can't run from yourself. So if you're constantly bombarding yourself with negative self-talk and negative thoughts, and you feel worthless and hopeless, and you feel like you're no better than the next person, or you're not good enough, it just leads to a life of ruin. Honestly, I've been there. This is what I have done. This is me coming out on top. I'm trying to get out of it, as you can see from this background. If I was truly watering myself, and if I was a plant and I was truly watering myself and taking care of myself and making sure I had the hydration and the sunlight that it needed, I would not be here in this predicament. Although I am grateful for where I am right now, I know that it doesn't stop here, basically. It doesn't stop here. It doesn't end here. I have to continue on with life. And God is telling me to put my 10 toes down on this dream that I have. Now, I don't know if I'll actually get into the film industry. I would hope I would. I would love to be in the film industry. I would love to. I feel like out of all the white men that are behind the scenes in that industry, there needs to be more black women. I just feel like there's a perspective that we're able to see, or a perspective that we actually own and have, that they're not able to see, that needs to be on screen. So yeah, I would love to be in film. I would love to be in film. I would love to be like on a production team. I would love to see what the ins and outs are behind the scenes of, on set for a TV show or a commercial, or like, I want to see. And it's not even like about like celebrity or like stardom, at least for me. And I'm not crazy about anybody as well. I feel like that is an environment that I would thrive in. I've never been in an environment like that where people are passionate about what they do and there's a hustle about it, and they just work together as a collective to get this one big idea out there to share with the masses. Like, I think that's an incredible thing to do, and that is something that I look to be a part of. But as of right now, I'm just a one-man show, which is fine. It's fine. I'll be a one-man show because at least right now, being a one-man show shows just how much in support that I should be of myself. Meaning, up until this point, I have never believed in myself. You seeing me here right now on this screen shows that I do believe in myself. So, with that being said, like, why not see what's along for the ride? Like, that's what I want. I want to see what's to come of this. I want to know what blessings are on the other side of what God has for me. I want to know what life can look like outside of these four walls that I've been in. Right now, I'm living with family. I moved back in with family after my car getting repossessed and after losing my apartment and losing my job and having to move back to my home state and live with them in this guest room. This isn't even my real bedroom. This is a guest room. And yeah, I'm just tired of being here because it's happened before. I had to come back here. It's happened a couple times before where I had to come back, and I'm just like, what is it gonna take? And I've only been led back here so many times because I just don't believe in myself, and because I'm quick to listen to other people's opinions of what I should do with my life, and then when I do it and I follow their instructions and I'm obedient to them, then I end up missing out on what God is actually telling me to do in my own life, which is who I should have been listening to from the start, which is who I was asking for purpose to begin with. And it's like sometimes you have to realize that judgment from God is better, it's more important than judgment from people. You really have to care less about what other people think. You have to believe in yourself and trust in God, and know that together, or know that when you only have God, you have more than enough company. You have more than enough leadership. You have more than enough family or friends when you only have God on your side. When you have no other person to support you and it's just you and God, you have already one-upped the mass majority of the world's population. You have surmounted any team or any powerful person with all the money. Like, when you have God on your side, truly, there's no comparison. So be encouraged. Let me be the one to encourage you that if you feel like doing something but you're just uncertain, or you don't believe in yourself, you don't feel capable, you don't feel good enough, you're not skillful enough, you don't have enough money, you're not in the right place, you can't get to that place, but that's where you want to be, or just use what you have to get what you want. Use what you have right now. Use what you know right now. If you don't know it yet, okay, maybe there'll come a time when you will know it. But as of right now, stick to what you know. Use it to your advantage, to its maximum potential. Get good at it. And God will order your next step. But yeah, that's about it. I don't know. These are some of the things that I think about. And this is what I want to bring to my channel. Like, I want to be able to be 100% transparent. Like, I'm not ashamed of my journey. I'm not ashamed of my life experiences. I'm not ashamed of the wisdom that I have. It's just different being vulnerable on a public platform as opposed to just living with your life alone, in private. So this is literally me inviting you into my space because I trust you and I know you ain't gonna run around talking about me. I hope not. I'm hoping to make friends with y'all. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for community. I'm looking for community and I'm looking to make friends. So, feel free to subscribe if you want to, or just let me know down in the comments if you just relate, if you understand where I'm coming from. But other than that, I'm just going to finish up getting ready so that I can actually film the video that I actually plan to film. And then, I'll just see you guys in the next one.